guys, Carl here with Red Beard Recipes. As requested, I'm going to do some ribs today, barbecue style. So I've got a rack of ribs here ready to go. I'm going to trim them up. We've got our rub mix, which is going to be brown sugar, salt, cayenne pepper, paprika, white pepper, garlic granules or garlic powder, some cumin and some cinnamon. So we'll mix them up together. We're going to trim this up. Going to add some American mustard. What you want is like a cheapish mustard, which has quite a lot of vinegar in it, which is going to help break down the meat and add to the flavour. So we'll get prepping with this. We'll take a little bit of the fat off, and we'll take this membrane off here, and on the back we might take a little bit of the fat off that's quite thick, just so it renders better and you're not getting a big chunk of fat when you bite in. But we want to keep a lot of it on so that it renders. It's going to cook in its own fat. I'm going to wrap it up, bang it in the oven, and then we're going to finish it on the barbecue. Let's get started.
You son of a bitch.
So this membrane here we need to take off, otherwise it gets a bit chewy. So just get under with a knife, and then we're going to just basically rip it straight off. Doesn't have to be neat at all. If you don't get all of it off, don't worry about it. Be rough with it. Use a bit of a paper towel because it does get slippy, so you can grip it a bit better that way. That's that all, pretty much all off. What we're going to do is take some of this fat off as well. Not too much, just any big massive chunks. Just trim them down a little bit off the top. Good to go. I'm going to mix the rub up, and then we're going to apply that along with the mustard and a little bit of salt. So we're just going to lightly season the pork, just a little bit of salt, not too much, because in our rub we've got some salt as well. I'm just going to do this while we're getting the rub together, just so it starts to break down a little bit and get some of the juices coming out. Just let that sit for about 5 minutes while we're doing the rub. So we've mixed our rub up. As you can see, it's all mixed in there. You want to get all of the lumps from the brown sugar ground down, so you're not getting big chunks of it later on when it's cooking. So that's ready to go on. Got some American mustard. Rub that in. So the vinegar and the mustard will help break down the meat as well. Not need too much. Mustard's all rubbed in. I'm going to start adding our barbecue rub mix. So I'll have full quantities in the description. So I want this quite heavily seasoned. It's going to taste heavenly though. If you've got any left over, chuck it in a mason jar, keep it for the next time you want to make it. It's all good to go. So it's a nice colour on there. We'll keep it, the meat side sat in there just to soak up any more that's in there. And we're going to get some tin foil ready to wrap it up. So we've got a couple of bits of foil here. I'm going to pop the ribs in the middle. Fold it over. I'm going to make sure it's all in there tight. Meat side down on the ribs. The membrane side is facing up. Pop it in a baking tray. Just be careful, you don't want any of the bones to pop out. That way you're going to lose your heat. You're going to lose all the steam from the fat as well. So just be very careful. The oven is around 135, 140 degrees Celsius, and we're just going to pop them in there for around 2¼ hours. Then we'll finish them on the barbecue. In that time, we're going to make a barbecue sauce, which is going to be a glaze and also going to double up as a dipping sauce as well. So the ingredients for the barbecue sauce are half an onion, a red onion preferably, 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, 4 to 5 cloves of garlic, depending on how big your heart measures garlic, 4 chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. If you can't find that, just use a chipotle sauce and use around 3 tablespoons. Half a cup of some stock, probably chicken stocks are the best, and just use powdered for it. There's no point going out your way to get a litre of stock, just use quarter of a cup. 2 tablespoons of orange juice, or I just go with half an orange, just squeeze the juice out of that. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, and 1 teaspoon of soy sauce. So all we're going to do for the sauce, we're going to dice the onion, slice up the garlic or crush it. Everything else you're going to run straight in the blender and get it all wet and gushy. This barbecue sauce is literally the Muhammad Ali of barbecue sauces.
I am the greatest.
It's been 2¼ hours now, and just literally pulled these out. Pretty well cooked. You can see the bones are starting to pop. But you want to see the skin come back, the meat pulling back off the bone. Obviously, if you've got a bigger rack, everyone's got a different size rack. It might
Thank you.
take a little bit longer, but just get a toothpick just to make sure, and you shouldn't get any resistance from the meat. It should basically go straight through. So all of that is perfectly done. We've got our sauce here, so we're going to baste it with this just before we go on the barbecue, and then we're going to use it as a dipping sauce as well. So on the barbecue, we're going to put the meat side down first, glaze the bone side, flip it, and then glaze the meat side as well. If you don't have a barbecue, so you can take it out of the foil, pop it back in the pan, glaze it, pop it back in the oven. If you've got a grill set on your oven, that'll work best, and you can just char the top. So, belly side down, meat side down, sorry. Get a little glaze. You want just a little bit char on that first. I'm gonna rub this all over. Hear the fat popping. We need 2 minutes each side, I'd say. Nice bit of colour on there, a little char. And again,
some of this on.
Ribs off. They're all nice and sticky now. Delicious. Barbecue sauce ready for dipping. We've got a little bit of corn there. And I'm going to serve it up with a little bit of pickled potato salad. Pop a bit on the side. And what we'll have here, we'll cut a couple of these. Perfect. Fall off the bone. Remember, see that? And pop straight out. Ready to go. Thanks for watching, guys. If you did like it, please subscribe, share the video, and give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you want to see next in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.
Ta-ta and farewell.